Hello everyone, welcome to Kaylee College of Commerce. I, Professor Sneha, would like to continue with the chapter first of part 1 Foundations of Business. Multiple objectives of business. Objectives they are needed in every area. Why? Because it helps the business to survive and prosper. It gives us the clear picture about the existence of the business. A business has to balance numerous needs, goals, and hence it will be having the multiple objectives. It cannot follow only one objective. That is, we cannot say that only profit is the motto or profit is the only objective to achieve excellence. Objective has to be specific in every area and every sphere of business. Let's take example sales targets. They have to be set. The amount of capital to be raised has to be estimated, and the target number of units to be produced has to be defined. So all these are the multiple objectives, that is to decide about the sales target. Either it is to decide how much amount is required, how much has to be raised, how much has to be taken as a loan, or how much has to be raised from the public. And the other is to decide how much production has to be done, how many number of units has to be produced. So we can all say that these all are the multiple objectives. Objectives enables to analyze their own performance and to correct, to improve the performance in the future. Objectives, they are needed in every area so that we can give a best result, and it will affect the survival and the prosperity of the business. So some of the areas of the business we'll discuss here. The first is market standing. Market standing means the position of an enterprise with that too, or in relation with competitors. A business enterprise must aim at standing on stronger footing in terms of offering competitive products to the customers which will satisfy their needs. So market positioning can also be called as a market standing or a market standing. It is market standing, which means that here to compete with the other competitors who are entering the existing market. The next is innovation. Innovation, that is an objective of a business, that is to introduce a new idea or to bring in a new concept. There might be two kinds of innovation in every business, either innovation in the product or the service that is being offered by the business, or it may be innovation in the various skills and activities that are needed to supply products and services. No business enterprise can flourish in a competitive world without innovation. Innovation is very important objective because new idea or a new method or the new skills that are being utilized by the business firm to supply the product that helps them to survive even in the long run. Maybe not with a new product, but supplying the same existing product in a different manner helps them to survive in the long run. Third is productivity. Productivity is ascertained by comparing. Here, productivity is nothing but we compare the value of output with that of value of units. It is used as a measure of efficiency. In order to survive in the long run and progress, have a continuous progress, every enterprise must aim at greater productivity through the available resource. That is, if we are investing, say, suppose 100 rupees, we have to see that we are utilizing that resource in a complete manner and give more output than the investment. Value of output is always compared with the value of input. So, how much will be the increase in the value of our output? That shows the productivity. That is how the output or the productivity is measured, and that shows the efficiency of the business. The fourth objective of business is fiscal and financial resources. Any business, it requires the physical resource, that may be the plants, factories, machines, offices, and it also requires financial resource to purchase the product, to supply to the customers. So the businessman enterprise must aim at acquiring these resources so that to meet the requirement and use them for the attainment of the goal. The fifth objective is earning profits. You can see the preference given to the earning of profit. First come here is to survive and to compete, that is market standing, and to come up with a new idea, that is innovation, to increase the value of output with that of increase in the value of or the given input, complete utilization of the resources. The fifth objective is earning profits. The importance we can see here. Earning profits on the capital employed, or we expect a return on the investment that is made. Profitability is always in relation with the capital investment. Every business must earn a reasonable profit. Here, the word reasonable profit means that after covering the cost, the profit which helps to survive in the market, that may be the reasonable profit, which is very important for the survival as well as to reinvest that in the business for the growth. Managers' performance and the development. Business enterprise needs managers to conduct and coordinate business activity. Various programs are being arranged so that managers are motivated. Managers' performance and development is a very important objective for the business enterprise, because manager is the person who is going to, if his performance is increased, if his performance is improved, he improves the activities and improves the others' performance so that business can achieve its objective. So various programs have been conducted to direct manager and to influence manager so that human behavior is being influenced, and it helps in the growth and the development of the organization. Workers' performance and the attitude. Not only the manager's performance, but the workers' performance and their attitude also is an objective of the business, which determines the contribution towards the productivity as well as the profitability of any enterprise. Every enterprise must aim at improving its workers' performance, as we know that if the workers' performance are improved, they are the real executors or the real implementers who are going to turn our plan into action, put our plan into action. That is possible only when they possess a positive attitude. So there should be a try to ensure that there is a positive attitude on the part of the workers. Lastly, social responsibility. Social responsibility is a very important objective of an organization, because business enterprise is an integral part of the society. Here, the social responsibility means that business firms are obliged to contribute the resources, and they are obliged to solve the social problems and work in a socially desirable manner. Thus, a business enterprise has multiple objectives to satisfy different individuals and groups. So, this is essential for its own survival and prosperity. Business risk. The term business risk refers to the possibility of inadequate profits or even losses due to uncertainties, or we call it as unexpected events. For example, demand for a particular product may decline or may increase. So that changes happens because of the change in the taste or the preference of consumers, or due to the increased competition from other producers. Lower demand results in long sales and profits. It means that if there is a lower demand, it is resulting in less profits or decrease in the profits. So, in another situation, the shortage of raw material in the market may also increase or hike the price of that particular product. The firm which is using those raw materials have to pay more to buy them. So, as a result, the cost of the production may increase, which in turn may reduce the profit. So this all are the examples for the business risk. So these all are the possibilities that may lead to the loss or that may lead to the inadequate or insufficient profits because of the uncertainties and the unexpected events in the future. Business enterprise constantly face two types of risk. They are speculative risk and pure risk. Speculative risk means it speaks about the possibility. The possibility is of both gain as well as loss. So what is a speculative risk? The speculative risks, they arise due to the change in the market condition, which includes the fluctuation in the demand and the supply, the changes in the prices or the changes in the fashion and the taste of the customers. So that may lead to, if for my product, if the change in the market condition is favorable, so there is a possibility of gain. So that is called as a speculative risk. If the change, if the change in the market condition is unfavorable to me, there is a possibility of loss. So that is a speculative risk. Favorable market conditions, they are likely to result in gains, whereas unfavorable one may result into losses. Then what is a pure risk? Pure risk involves only the loss, only the possibility of loss or no loss. So it is called as a pure risk. That may be the chance of fire, theft, strike. So these all are the examples of pure risk. Their occurrence may result in loss, whereas their non-occurrence may explain the absence of loss instead of gain. There will not be gain if there is no fire, but there will not be loss. But if there occurs a fire in the factory premise, then there is a possibility of loss. So that is a pure risk. Speculative risk is different from pure risk. Speculation, here the speculation means possibility, or we talk about the probability. Probably the market condition may favor for one business, or it may become unfavorable to another business, and for the unfavorable, which is unfavoring for that particular business, it will be incurring loss for them, and for the business which is having a favorable market condition for that particular product, there is a possibility of gain. But whichever business it might be, if there is a fire, occurrence of fire, that leads to loss. If there is no fire in any business, that leads to no loss. So that is a pure risk. Nature of business risk. So the nature of business risk, it can be understood in this manner. That is, the first is business risks arise due to uncertainties. As we know that we call that as a risk when it is unfavorable to us, and which happens in the future, and the future is uncertain. Business risk arise due to the uncertainties. Uncertainties refers to the lack of knowledge about what is going to happen in the future. That may be natural calamities or change in the demand, or it may be the change in the price, if there is a change in the government policies, if there is improvement in the technologies. So all these are some of the examples of uncertainties that creates a risk for the business, because the outcome of these future events, they are not known to anyone. The natural calamity is uncertainty, and that is a risk for the business. So the outcome of that future event is not known to anyone. The second nature of the business risk is it is an essential part of every business. It cannot be avoided. Every business has some risk. No business can avoid risk. Although the amount of risk may vary from business to business, but risk is it cannot be avoided, but it can be minimized. It can be minimized. It cannot be completely eliminated. So that is an essential part of every business. Degree of risk depends mainly upon the nature and the size of the business. Nature of business, that is, type of goods and service produced and sold, as well as the size of the business. They are the main factors which determine the amount of risk in a business. For example, a business dealing in fashionable items has a high degree of risk. Similarly, a large scale business generally has a higher risk than what a small scale has. So, it is here the nature of business risk is it has a degree of risk. It may be higher or it may be a lower risk. So that depends on the size of the business as well as the nature. Nature means which type of business or in which goods they are dealing with. If they are dealing with goods which are vulnerable or which are very much sensitive, then the risk will be higher for them. If the size of the business is greater or larger, even they may have a higher risk, because the volume of production and the sale will be much, and the amount invested will also be more. If there is a public subscription, or if it is a public company limited, the size of the business will be more and the risk also will be more for them. So the amount of risk depends on which type of business it is and what is the nature in which goods or services they are dealing with. Large scale will have a higher risk, whereas a small scale may have less risk compared to the large scale business. Profit is the reward for risk taking. So there is no gain without pain. Similarly, there is no risk. If there is no risk, then there is no gain. It's an age-old principle which applies to all types of business. If there is no risk, then there will not be gain. So, greater the risk involved, the higher will be the chance of profit. So profit is treated as the reward for the risk taking, and the risk taker will be getting this reward as a profit in the form of profit. An enterprise, an entrepreneur undertakes risks under the expectation of higher profit. So profit is thus reward is a reward for the risk taking. Thank you all.